coaching here.
Not just as a coach, but almost never comes back here. It's just very difficult as a head coach in Division I to come back to where you played, where you were an assistant, just because of the time commitment. So let's be very conscious of how Michigan State defends. That's what Tom Izzo's looking for after the break.
Here's Cassius Winston to start things off. Coach Izzo was very happy with the way his team came back from the break. He said that's not always been the case. As Langford launches quickly and can't hit the three. Rod Henry Hayes with the rebound for Northern Illinois. And here's Eugene German trying to get it into the post, and it's taken away.
He'll love that defensively. It was one thing that Tom told us just about an hour before tip-off. Kind of like football, gets back to blocking and tackling. You got to defend and rebound.
The double came at Ward. Winston with the three.
It's really interesting to watch, Kevin, how Winston has become an elite scorer by his junior year. Wasn't like that when he first got here.
Just 6.5 points per game in his freshman year. He's just gotten better and better as more has been asked of him. Looking inside to James. Instead, it's Dante Thorpe will take it. The running hook rattles home. And now Winston and the Spartans, as usual, looking to push early.
He's a slasher, Thorpe, for Mark Montgomery, and that's what he wants him to do. Just find a way, slither in there to the basket.
And he goes with a three.
In the last couple of weeks, in these last non-conference games for Michigan State, they've had great ball movement. We told you they got really in the country with 21 assists a game. Those turnovers are down, the assists are up, the hockey assists are up as well.
Good sign for Goins as he hit that three, just 22% from three already on this year. He hits his first, a wild miss from the Max leading scorer, Eugene German. And Winston will push, three in transition, hits it again. Fourth attempt from three for the Spartans, and they're 3 for 4 to start.
I thought you were going to throw it a little wide right on that German three-pointer. It's a big football day.
Bradley will attack. Driving inside against Goins. Can't get that one to go. Offensive rebound inside for Lacey James. He's had a couple of double-doubles this year. If he can stay out of foul trouble, he can stay on the floor for Mark Montgomery's team. That's not been an easy thing to do.
No, he's actually been his most improved player. But here's Winston. He has hunted his shot, I think, better over the last, 2 months than we've seen even last season. When it's there for him, he's going to take it, and he's got the green light from Tom Izzo.
Part of this offense, they are very good from three, but they don't necessarily rely on the three. It's been one of the things that Tom Izzo's been happiest about is that they can get it if they need it, but they haven't needed it all the time.
Well, they certainly can play through Nick Ward, especially in games like this, where he's got the size and the strength advantage, as you see James trying to deal with that inside.
Mark Montgomery was at Central Michigan, was a 4-year letterman under Judd Heathcote, spent 10 seasons as an assistant at Michigan State, patrolling the sidelines in his 8th year with Northern Illinois. Bobble, Goins thought about shooting another three. Now with 15 to shoot, Winston will launch again, and he'll hit again. How about Cassius Winston?
Shot ready.
9 early for Winston, building on his 26-point performance before the break against Oakland.
And what's great is he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands. A lot of playmakers do.
German will launch from deep. That's not going to go. Rebound tipped into the hands of Ward. Here come the Spartans again on the push.
Keep track of those rebounds for Ward, because Tom Izzo wants to see more than 5 a game out of him as they get back into the Big Ten.
He's been so good of late, but that's one area that Coach Izzo says he can get even better is on the glass.
And transition defense. He's not going to like that possession there by NIU.
Way to enter it to Ward. With a double, come flowing right at it. Rotates around to Langford for another three. Goins able to tip it to McQuaid, and he misses from point-blank range. Here's German. Blow by to the rim for his first pick.
We said at the top, he's one of the better scorers in the country, and he's got company in the MAC with C.J. Massenberg of Buffalo. That's going to be a good matchup when they play later this season.
Another three. This one off the heel, and the rebound underneath for Northern Illinois. Levi Bradley will navigate up the floor. Going end-to-end. Bradley pinned by Goins. Inside, James battles for it, and he's fouled. Nick Ward picking up his first.
German didn't go home for Christmas break, stayed at NIU, and basically stayed in the gym, according to Mark Montgomery. And you know, you just love when you've got one of those gym rats who also is your best player. And that's what they're hoping he'll do for them in the MAC. Lead them into that upper division and challenge Buffalo.
Huskies picking to finish 5th in the MAC West. Eastern Michigan is the favorite in that division.
They've really struggled, though, Eastern Michigan has, to start this season. And look, they've played well in a number of games. There's only one game they didn't play well in, and that was at Butler. Yes, they have 5 losses. By the way, at the beginning of the season, they lost in double overtime to Northern Kentucky without German, who was suspended for that game. So I don't know if you can wipe that away, but they've been close in a lot of games against pretty decent mid-level competition.
James can't connect at the line. And the push up the floor for Winston. Kyle Arns on the floor for Michigan State for the first time with the ball. Enters it to Xavier Tillman. Tillman on the baseline, and a foul and a timeout. Jalen Key with the personal foul, and we'll step aside, but Michigan State hoping that the break doesn't cool them off from deep. 4 for 7 to start from 3, with Winston getting all 3 of his from beyond the arc. 12-8 lead over Northern Illinois. Alongside Andy Katz, I'm Kevin Kugler. Welcome back inside the Breslin Center. Red hot from 3 to start for Michigan State.
Look, I've known Tom Izzo for a long time. This is as happy as I've seen him before the start of conference play with his offense, and he's got good reason because of those 1, 2, 3 scores that we just discussed at the top of the show, led by
the two-hand stuff. Not the 3, but a 2 for Aaron Henry. And the first points in the paint for Michigan State.
Yeah, they got a lot of options inside that they go when Ward is not the primary option.
Thorpe, a little runner. That one not going to go. Ward with the rebound. Keeping an eye on Nick Ward rebounds.
Up to 3.
Not a bad start.
Even at the second media timeout.
Cassius Winston working against Gergis Dow off the bench for Northern Illinois. Entry to Ward. Double team comes a little late. Ward muscling it up, and he'll go to the line. Well, Aaron Henry had been struggling a little bit. Last 3 games, just 2 total points, 1 for 5 shooting, but he finds the net, and he puts it in the net. Presented by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's.
Well, he had the clear lane in there. No one was stepping in front of that.
So Ward to the line. Free throw is good. We've talked about this offense for Michigan State, how it's getting better and better. One area where it's improving is right here at the line. The last 5 games, 76% as a team from the free throw stripe, Andy. Before that, they were 68% to start the season in the first 7 games.
Well, and Nick Ward should get fouled a lot because of that body, and he sort of can take the bump and get close to the basket where he's going to get fouled, so he's got to be able to convert.
There's German working against Arms. Leading scorer in the MAC the last 2 years. German driving to the rim, can't get it to go. The rebound tip to Tillman.
That was like 1 on 4.
Winston 1 on 4. He doesn't take the chance. Tillman needs a little help. And tipped out of bounds. Good defense by the Huskies.
Michigan State basketball.
The depth of this Michigan State team, Kevin, I think we're seeing this as they get closer and closer to the Big Ten. He can go legitimately 10 deep.
Winston, another one from deep. 4 for 4 from 3. And Cassius Winston has 12 first half points.
Got to be the headband. Only wears it in games. Never in practice. Not even during the warm-ups. When he's just out here an hour before.
Does he never hit a 3 in practice? Key trying to find room on the baseline. Fadeaway blocked by Tillman, and Tillman takes it away. Excellent post defense by Xavier Tillman. Now the push. Arms. Late feed to Goins, and Goins going to the line.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to inbound the ball, but yet they make sure they get the ball all the way around to Winston, who's got the hot hand, a little heat check, and he converts. Now he takes a seat.
They'll call that foul on the floor, so Michigan State will inbound. Foster Lawyer in for the first time. Freshman out of Clarkston, Michigan. And a travel. Turnover number 2 for Michigan State.
So let's keep an eye on Lawyer in a game like this, because earlier in the season, Tom was telling me it was hard with the kind of schedule they were playing to get him quality minutes. So these games, Ohio, Green Bay, Oakland, Northern Illinois, these are the kind of games you got to get Lawyer in there.
German trying to find some room against Lawyer. It's Dante Thorpe, 10 to shoot. Now 5 on the shot clock for Thorpe. Ball tipped away. German's going to have to launch a deep one here. 1 on the shot clock. And the Michigan State Spartans a one and done with a good defensive series. Now Lawyer ahead to Arms. To shoot. And on the shot clock now as Arns finds Langford, forces one up. Rebound underneath by Tillman, waiting for traffic and a foul. Noah McCarty, the junior out of Rock Falls, Illinois, with his first.
Team foul on the Huskies.
Going just hunting that ball. And then McCarty, who is Northern Illinois' blue-collar guy, does a little bit of everything for them. Can whack you if you need it right there.
That's his second foul, Andy. So McCarty, the blue-collar guy, is going to be headed to the bench, as are most of the Huskies on the floor. They're doing a full line change. 5 new Huskies coming out.
They're going to give German a break. And, I mean, obviously, if they're going to stay close, they're going to need him to get hot from the perimeter. He's averaging 21 a game. So.
Only 1 for 5 so far in this one, and 0 for 3 from 3 for Eugene German. He's had 4 career games as German against major competition. He's never scored below 20 points in any of those games.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, 44 straight double-figure games.
Double figures, correct. 9-0 run, though, for Michigan State. Their largest lead at 21-8.
I don't care what level you're at. That's hard to do.
Especially when you're the focal.
Yes.
Bradley, tough shot for Bradley. Didn't touch anything. Shot clock has not reset. James with 5 to shoot. Working inside. Tillman says no. McQuaid to Lawyer. Spartans with some excellent defensive work in this first half. Langford, a tough shot. No. Rebound. Tillman puts it up and in.
Tillman's a great example for Tom Izzo to show, be patient, you'll develop. He actually said that he's got Tillman working a little with Marcus Bingham to just appreciate the process. This isn't the Sixer process, this is the Izzo process.
Mateen backing out for 3. Off the heel, McQuaid the rebound. Spartans looking to push again. Lawyer on the run to Langford, launching from deep, but no, and the rebound to Ritchie. Northern Illinois trying to find its shooting touch. 4 of 16 and 0 for 5 from 3.
Let's see without German who they go to.
There's Levi Bradley. Bradley driving inside, bumped by Goins, and still able to get it in.
Well, Montgomery said it, if they have a chance to win, it can't just be German. They need Bradley to certainly pull his share.
Langford the 3. Won't go. The 11-0 run snapped. Michigan State just 1 for 6 from 3 over their last 6 attempts, and a timeout on the floor with the turnover for Northern Illinois. It was the 3-point shooting early. Now it's the work inside from Xavier Tillman. Defense on one end, and Tillman able to finish it up on the other with 2.
He came after playing a little in Europe, that he needed to get back to the Midwest. You know, coached at, here as an assistant coach, and then when the opportunity arose at Northern Illinois to stay in the Midwest with his roots, 8 years ago, he jumped at the opportunity. He said he always wanted to be a CEO, to run his own program, and he's in a very, very tough conference. They had a plus 500 season 3 years ago, 2016. Hoping he can get back to that this season.
And the first bucket for Langford after an 0 for 6 start. And a 26-10 lead for Michigan State. 14-2 run for the Spartans to open this one up early. Here's James. Deep jumper won't go. Winston the board. Cassius Winston 4 for 4 from 3 in this first half. Ward with a double coming, trying to pass out of it. Langford able to scoop it up. And now Winston. His first non-3 falls short.
Thought he had the angle on that one.
Ritchie barreling into McQuaid and a charging call.
And there's the glue guy. Matt McQuaid, been healthy over the last couple of weeks after being banged up after they played out in Vegas. He draws the charge. It's exactly what.
All hypothetical here, Andy
Yes.
Katz. But does Michigan State lose that overtime game to Louisville, one of their 2 losses, if McQuaid's on the floor in that game? He was out with that thigh bruise that he suffered early in the year.
I'm going to say no. Although it still was a road game, but they had multiple opportunities to win that game, even without McQuaid. Missed free throws, little poor execution toward the end, so they had chances.
They had 11 first half turnovers in that game as well. That would have been a big hole.
And by the way, it's not going to be a bad loss.
Ward inside trying to hustle it up amidst 3 Huskies. Levi Bradley able to get the rebound.
Neither will the game against Kansas to start the year in Indianapolis.
You don't think? Kansas might be all right this year.
So no bad losses for Michigan State.
And foul underneath. Nick Ward picking up the personal. That's his second.
Michigan State personal foul on 44, Nick Ward. His second personal.
It's going to hamper his quest for more than 5 rebounds.
Yeah, he may not get it at the half yet.
He's only got 3 as he sits down. Just the second team foul as well on Michigan State as German penetrates the dish to Thorpe. And Thorpe with an offensive foul.
That's 2 in the last 2 successive possessions.
7th team foul on Northern Illinois.
And McQuaid he's drawn 2 in a row. Trying to go after what, Brad Davison's 5? Was it 5 in that game?
Believe so.
From Wisconsin?
So Thorpe with a couple. As Tillman will start it over to Langford.
There were a few critics of that. I don't buy that. Criticize someone putting through that kind of effort.
3-second call. We'll send it the other way. I don't know too many critics who criticize that.
No.
You can certainly criticize the block charge call.
Right.
That's up for debate across college basketball, but I don't know that anybody criticizes the effort taken. It's hard to find a guy to take a charge these days.
By the way, I'm going to keep harping this.
Yeah.
You just saw Tom Izzo with no tie. I think that's what coaches should do. Screaming and yelling, and their necks are getting all constricted by the tie. I'm serious. I think it's a good look, and I think it actually is a practical look. And you see Mark Montgomery doing the same thing.
McQuaid with an open 3. Good rotation by Michigan State. Quickly up the floor, to the rim with a one-hand stuff.
Well, that's how you get back in the game. Transition. Beat them back down court, and German certainly can do that.
Just 4 points for German, 2 for 7. The average is 21 points per game. Leading scorer in the MAC last year and this year.
So they're switching to a zone. Let's see if they can penetrate the middle, and they do.
And they get the turnaround 2. Kenny Goins.
I mean, Montgomery has to try to mix it up to try to get back into this game, try to get it under 10, or maybe the 4-minute mark.
Thorpe off the fake, trying to get past Langford. 12 to shoot for Bradley. Tough fadeaway. Bradley gets the roll. He's been a prolific scorer for this squad, averaging over 16 points per game.
Yeah, if German's not going to touch it in the possession, Montgomery's going to be fine if Bradley's the one taking the shot.
Quaid. Bounce to Langford, looking baseline. Oh, the skip, beautiful find. Goins, the 3, not going to go. There's Tillman with another offensive rebound. The putback not going to go, and out of bounds to Northern Illinois. And a timeout here in East Lansing. 8th-ranked Spartans doing work early, up by 2 touchdowns.
And Nebraska, hey, Cornhusker fans, I don't hate you. I've been driving that bandwagon. I said at the beginning of the season you're going to be in the NCAA tournament and win a game for the first time ever. I still believe it. So don't fret if you weren't in last week's power rankings. Your Power 36, you will be back. Don't worry.
Andy Katz walked in today with a Tim Miles shirt on and a big X through Tim Miles. I don't know what the deal was.
Hey, they got a big game at Minnesota.
Fade away, not going to go. Rebound tipped around, and Kyle Arns
Aren't you
with
gonna
the rebound. Minnesota.
I mean, not Minnesota.
Maryland.
Maryland, excuse me.
We'll be there this next
Thank
week.
you. They already played Minnesota. Maryland.
Which is why they're ranked low in the power rankings.
Yes.
They lost that game.
Yes.
Good look inside for Henry. Henry weaving around traffic. They like this young freshman. If they can get him going a little bit before conference play, what a big lift that'll be.
Yeah, Henry, and I think we're going to see some Gabe Brown shortly. Another freshman, I think, will get some minutes. And on the floor right now, Marcus Bingham. I mentioned him that Tillman's been a little bit of a mentor. That Tom said, you know, I need Tillman to just get him going a little bit and explain. You got to be a little patient, and I think Bingham has. He knows he's not strong enough yet to compete it.
Henry on the drive. He'll work his way to the foul line. Aaron Henry, only 2 points in his previous 3 games, but 4 so far today with some good early work.
Gets position, waits a little, the defender to fly by. But here's the thing with Bingham, I want to stress this again, Kevin. Okay, people get all worked up about, oh, look at his size and his length, and he should be in the NBA, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, watch him. He's not ready, and he knows it. And I hope he practices patience, because he can be obviously a special player, but it may take time. In the old days, he would have been redshirted, okay, to get stronger and become a major factor.
Well,
that doesn't happen anymore.
Came in at about 195.
Yes.
They've got him above the 210 mark right now, but his frame can handle a little bit more if they need him to.
And you're going to get better here quicker than if you were in like the G League playing against men who are playing for a paycheck.
Bingham with the foul there, his first. Well, he's one of those kids that grew big quick as you watch the foul inside. He was 6'2" as a freshman, 6'10" as a senior in high school.
And look at that, on that drive, he got bounced out of the play, okay? Once he gets stronger, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen to Nick Ward or Kenny Gomez. And it will happen. Just got to be patient. No reason to rush.
Everybody's in a hurry these days, Andy.
I'm on my soapbox right now.
Michigan State 6 of 6 at the line. Northern Illinois 0 of 3 at the stripe. And that's the first make as Jalen Key, whose dad Damon Key was a star at Marquette in the early 90s. Here's Bingham on the drive. Bingham's with the pull-up, and Bingham will go to the line.
Did that really say 235?
235?
That's what it said.
Yeah. That's what it said.
Okay.
Summer numbers.
What a great relationship between those two. Tom Izzo and Cassius Winston.
There's Bingham. Keeping the perfect streak alive for Michigan State, 7 of 7.
He's had so many great lead guards, but most of the time it is a developing relationship. It takes not just days, months, years to where that trust should be there.
Tom Izzo says he's one of the top 3 basketball IQs he's ever had at Michigan State. You think of some of the guys he's had in that backcourt, that's really high praise.
We got line shifts here. We have hockey later tonight on BTN, right?
Jurgis Dow. And a whistle, stoppage in play. Aaron Henry with the foul. Here comes the line change that Andy Katz referred to. This is 4 of 5, not a complete line change. Would you ever like the situation in basketball like you have in hockey where you can just change on the fly? You can just run guys on and off?
Why not? Let's mix it up a little. Get the game going a little faster. But I think here they should actually maybe climb over. I think maybe like the scorer's table.
Langford intercepts the cross-court pass. Now the push ahead to Winston. A little bit low, and that threw off the break. Winston with 12 points in the first half. 4 for 4 from three-point land.
I know it was Chicago State, and they're one of the worst teams in Division I. But they scored a century on Chicago State. Northern Illinois did in their last outing. They're at 15 right now with 5 to go in the first half.
German trying to get it going, gets to the rim, left it short. That's not going to go. Rebound tipped out of bounds, and where's it going to go? Michigan State. Kenny Goins doing some work underneath, and Eugene German having himself a rough afternoon. 2 for 8 from the floor.
Well, keep in mind, the Michigan State had, I know they had some days off with the holiday, but a full week to prepare for this. And you give Tom Izzo and their staff that much time, Dane Fife, Mike Garland, Dwayne Stevens, great assistants that have been there a long time to prepare for a game like this. It's really hard for Germany to get free.
Ward there, spinning around, may have got held a bit. Here's German. The jump pass to Key, blocked. Kenny Goins again. Key nowhere to go. We've seen some excellent post work defensively from Tillman and Goins. Shot clock at 10. German launches deep. And the rebound in the corner, thrown back into play by Northern Illinois. And it's 5-on-4 right now. Slow to get up is Lacey James. The three in the corner. Langford can't hit. German the rebound. And now the long pass ahead to James. And it's out of bounds to Michigan State. He was kind of cherry picking a little bit there as he crashed into the bench here.
It's a good save, great effort. Goes right into, I think, Arnson's knee. Hits his face right there.
Grabbing his hip as he walks to the bench.
Yep.
Also back in for the Spartans 11, Aaron Henry.
And German also is out. So once again, where will the scoring come from? It better come from Bradley.
And a hot start from 3 did Michigan State, 4 for 5, but they're just 2 of 9 since that hot start from behind the arc. There's Ward.
Excuse me, Bradley out as well.
9 to shoot for Ward. Lawyer rotates it around, and Henry travels with it. Turnover number 5 for Michigan State, and a timeout on the floor. We've hit a rocky point in this one. Both teams stalemated, 33-15.
But that's fine. And Winston's been sensational offensively. The one miss was that drop. Yeah, I taught a class last year at DC, and I think they thought I was a soft grader.
Everybody got an A+ for Andy Katz. I loved your story, Andy. A+. Nick Ward with the rebound. Foster Lawyer to work. 3.5 to go first half. All Michigan State up 33-15. Offense has been all the talk over the last couple of weeks with this Spartan team, but defense has been the story in this first half. 10 to shoot as the entry to Ward. Ward's just getting pounded down. Constant double teams. McQuaid with the 3 off the pass from Ward. Gets his own rebound. Still trying to find that range that they had early from 3. 2 for their last 10.
NIU's doing a much better job of challenging the shooters in the last, I'd say, 10 minutes or so.
Number 3 on Noah McCarty. Stay tuned for the State Farm halftime report. Got a trio of stars. Mike Hall, Deion Thomas, and Jess Settles will be along from our Chicago studio with the State Farm halftime report. They'll get you caught up on everything around the conference.
You got a little Hall, Thomas, bragging rights that certainly Mike Hall can brag as a Mizzou grad.
He had to bring out his Mizzou clothing from the mothballs they've been stored in over the last several years in that series.
I think he thought they were in the Big Ten.
Yeah, all the stuff he used to wear during bragging rights had, I believe, Big 8 on it still. So
yes, so the big part.
Update a little bit. Nick Ward, 1 for 2 on that trip. 34-15 Michigan State.
So German's going to have to hunt for a shot. He's got Winston on him.
Gabe Brown at the scorer's table for the Spartans, getting ready to check in.
I think Spartan fans are going to really fall for Brown if they haven't already.
As we say, they may have already gotten
Yes.
There's German trying to turn the corner. Every time he turns the corner, he finds another Spartan. This time, Xavier Tillman picks up the personal foul, his first, team's 5th.
I think that's what Mark Montgomery's going to want to see out of German in the second half. If you've got any opening, attack, absorb the contact, and get to the line.
At the line for Northern Illinois, Eugene German.
Now, German did declare for the NBA draft. Had a couple of workouts, the Bulls and the Bucks. And what he found out was, I'm not ready. Need to get stronger. Need to make better decisions, better reads off the pick and roll. These are all things. See, this is the beauty of the way the NBA draft rules set up right now, where you can go through that experience and hopefully listen to that advice that you are not ready and here's what you got to improve on.
Well, and not risk your eligibility from the NCAA standpoint to do it. It's really a nice project that both have agreed to work on. As Henry gets the open 3 and the rebound to Dante Thorpe.
And it's going to get better.
Thorpe end-to-end finds Bradley, the three in transition, off the heel. 0 for 7 from 3 for Northern Illinois. Hard to pull the upset on the road against a top 10 team if you can't hit from deep. A foul underneath. Nick Ward has been battered in this one by that double team in the post. Our State Farm halftime report is straight ahead. 2:10 remaining in the first half. 2:10 before Mike, Dion, and Jess break down not just some things or partial things, but everything in the conference.
And just to finish my thought on that, what's going to happen is eventually you're going to be able to go through the NBA draft if okay, you went to the combine and you didn't sign with an agent and you want to go back to school. I think there's going to be a lot of ifs, but that will be, eventually that will occur. That's sort of a fallout out of the Rice Commission. But look, if you didn't even get invited to the Chicago Draft Combine, where they cut it at 65, that should be a screaming red flag that you're not ready. Don't stay in the draft.
Dante Thorpe up and under, and that's the first field goal in over 6 minutes for Northern Illinois. Michigan State's field goal droughts at 5 minutes and counting. Double team again to Ward. Trying to pass out of the double. Here's Henry. Gabe Brown, 17 to shoot. Huskies' defensive effort very sound in this first half, despite the lopsided nature of the score. Deep three, falls. And they find Gabe Brown, who's 8 for 11 in his limited time from 3 and a timeout.
See, I hype him up, and he delivers.
Timeout taken. Let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Hiring delays were causing work to pile up. That's not smart. But you know what is smart? Using ZipRecruiter. They find people with the right skills, education, and experience for my job and actively invite them to apply. So I got qualified candidates fast. No wonder ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S.
ZipRecruiter, official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big10.
Getting some support off the bench today, building their largest lead. The Spartans up by 20.
Well, and this is the depth that Michigan State has as they get ready to reset into the Big Ten with a 2-0 record. Look at the ball movement. We talked about the hockey assists. They're getting plenty of them. Cassius Winston, little drop off, and then goes from, well, Gabe Brown made the shot. That was Tillman, I think, with the second pass.
Track him like a hockey assist.
I know.
Goalie moves it ahead,
line
gets an
changes.
assist. Bradley dribbled it off his foot. It may have gone off the foot of Goins as well, and it'll stay with Northern Illinois. 11 on the shot clock.
I've been making a lot of hockey references, and we got a game tonight. Ferris State, Minnesota. The hockey version of the barn.
You're very excited about that.
Yes.
Jalen Key will inbound.
Well, you know, I covered a national championship Wisconsin hockey championship way back in 1990.
German, nice drive. The scoop hit the bottom of the rim, goes out of bounds to Northern Illinois. 2 to shoot. You've covered everything.
Yes.
I don't even ask what you've
Well, you
covered.
were, I don't even want to ask what grade you were in back then.
What year was that?
90. I was working for the Milwaukee Journal while I was a senior at Wisconsin.
Yeah, I was thinking about college. In the corner with 1 on the shot clock. That 3 won't go, and the struggles continue from behind the arc for Northern Illinois. 0 for 8 from 3. Here's Henry. 19 to shoot. Winston. Get back on the scoring track again. Gets to the rim, and he's fouled. Almost a beautiful and one for Cassius Winston as Rod Henry Hayes commits the personal foul. His first.
Well, what's great here about Cassius is he can't get too complacent and rely on the 3, which he was in the first, 10 minutes of the game. Now he's finding that he can beat his man off the dribble, get to the line, and convert.
First points for Cassius Winston since that hot start of 4 for 4 from 3 in the first 4 or 5 minutes of this game.
And for Northern Illinois, 0.
Cassius Winston, the only player in America to average 16 points per game. He's at 17. 7 assists per game. And shoot 40% from three-point line. Nobody else does it other than Cassius Winston.
Michigan
Deep
State now,
Kithier's on the floor, Thomas Kithier.
and I was going to say that they've now used 11 players, and they can all play. There's no scrubs out there.
TLC reference. Levi Bradley, a little strong. Rebound to Kithier, right off the bench. Gets into the scoring column. Winston, 4 seconds. Needs some help. Tillman provides. Deep 2 falls, and Michigan State caps a strong first half with a deep 2 and takes a 43-19 lead into the locker room.
Watching the way this team continues to share the basketball, lead the country with 21 assists a game. Winston with the assist. Tillman with the point, saying, thank you very much. Now let's walk into the locker room and enjoy this large lead.
43-19, delighting this terrific crowd over holiday break. Michigan State with the lead. Stay tuned. Mike Dion and Jess will be along from our Chicago studio with a State Farm halftime report right after this break. Huskies are certainly not among them. 43-19 as we're ready to start the second half. Alongside Andy Katz, I'm Kevin Kugler. Excellent defensive effort by Michigan State in the first half. Excellent overall effort by Xavier Tillman.
Well, you thought I was going to talk about Cassius Winston, but you're wrong. I'm going a little bit off the bench here with Xavier Tillman, who has been sensational for Michigan State. High stat stuffer, if you will, every time he's been on the floor. I mean, look what he has done in this half, where he had 7 boards, 6 points, 2 assists, 2 blocks. That's an outstanding effort off the bench. When they can get that kind of production out of Tillman, you know things are going to go very well for Michigan State this afternoon.
Michigan State with that defensive effort. Second time they've held somebody under 20 in the first half this year. 43-19, and Northern Illinois is going to get anything done. Eugene German's got to get it going. You saw his first half numbers. Really struggled being the focal point of that Michigan State defensive effort.
Winston was put on him as a challenge by Tom Izzo. He has answered the call.
Good work by Lacey James battling with that one to keep it alive. The Rider transfer with 4 points and a whistle, and it's going the other way. Foul underneath on Nick Ward, and for Ward, that's number 3.
The challenge on Ward was, could he get beyond 5 boards? He had 5 at the half, and if he continues to rack up fouls, he's not going to get there. Just needs 1 more, but he'd like more than 5. More than just 1 more than 5.
Hayes the feet underneath to Bradley. That's a block. Kenny Goins with the swat, and the turnover back to Michigan State. Fourth Spartan block of the ball game. And right through the 5 holes. Ward tried to grab that one. Henry Hayes will bring it up the floor.
This Northern Illinois team scored 100 points in their last outing. Granted, it was Chicago State, but they can do it.
Bradley with the air ball from the corner. Kyle Arns catching the loose one.
Not like that.
No, that's not how you catch up.
That's not how you get 100.
Ward, the double team, has faced them all day long down low. Winston pulling the trigger, hits again from deep. 5 for 5 from 3 in this ball game.
That's exactly where he started this game. He had German flying at him, but that quick release by Winston, and he buries it.
46-21, all Spartans here in the final tune-up before conference play as German left it short, got his own all the way to the rim. The scoop will fall. You know what? Tom Izzo will point to that in film study.
Yes. Can't give up on the possession.
Ward with the left hand, won't drop. German on the push now for the Huskies. Open floor. German had it poked free from behind. It goes out of bounds off the Huskies. Now they may change this one. And it's going to stay on this end as Cassius Winston showing he's got the range again.
Look at that. The outstretched arm of German was right there, but Winston's got that quick release, something he's been working on, and he buries it.
Huskies will inbound. They switch the call around.
And the rest of the teams, you saw that 3 of 13 on threes, but it doesn't matter as much when you're 5 for 5.
Lacey James with the charge, his 3rd. Nick Ward standing in there to take that contact. A risky play for Ward. He already has the 3 fouls.
A little bit of a soccer add-on right there. Would you agree?
Yeah, probably.
I mean,
At least get
he's a big guy. I don't know if he got shoved that far backwards.
maybe at least a best supporting nominee.
Yes.
Winston waiting, open three, and this one won't go. Might be the most wide open look he's had, and it's his first miss. Here's Bradley on the drive. Hooks that one up and in. Levi Bradley double figures in all but 2 games this year. He's got 8 points, but 4 for 14 shooting to get those 8 points at a timeout taken by Michigan State. 17:24 to go in this second half. We'll step aside from the Breslin Center. Coming up next week, this is going to be such a fun conference to watch this year.
Yeah, there's no givens, but I'm going to go down once again to Iowa. Okay, they went 0-2, did not play well in this building to Michigan State, lost at home to Wisconsin, but they are playing much better basketball and defending better as the Big Ten resets.
Good look inside to Kenny Goins. Nice play off the timeout from Tom Izzo. And conference play was so good that week that we had it in December. I cannot wait to see how this league unfolds in January, February, and early March.
And that's the new norm. You're going to see at least 2 games around that Big Ten championship game every year now with 20 games. Last year they did it because the tournament was a week earlier. Now it'll be the norm because of the 20-game schedule.
Entry to Ward, little bobble, able to control it, muscles it up at a foul. Lacey James picks up his 4th. Nope, not on Lacey James. It'll be Levi Bradley, and our State Farm assist to the game, the feed to Kenny Goins.
Winston doing a little bit of everything this afternoon, especially with Josh Langford struggling so much. 1 of 8 from the 4.
Ward good on the first free throw. 17 points, 3 assists for Michigan State's Cassius Winston. 12 assists on 14 made field goals today for the Spartans. Nobody shares better than Michigan State.
Yes, averaging 21 assists a game. That tops in the country.
Last year they led the nation at 19.1. I know many of you are sticklers. We include the .1. Henry Hayes. Illinois 7-5 on the year. Really struggled to find the offense against the Smart lead. The 3 not going to go. Rebound by Bradley, able to stay with it. 0 for 10 from behind the arc for Northern Illinois. And a foul is going to be called. Kenny Goins battling against Levi Bradley. And for Goins, it's his first.
Montgomery was saying when Bradley's energy is high, when he's locked in, he kind of looks to Bradley to say, okay, we're going to have a good night if Bradley is all in. Now, I would say tonight, that's been kind of irrelevant. Or this afternoon.
Yes.
Because Michigan State's been so good defensively, and then Winston has been so hot for the offense.
German backing it out. You can see the frustration starting to show up on the face of Eugene German. Every time he turns around, there's a spark right in his face. That's not going to go. The rebound to Tillman. And that's shown up a combined 7 for 25 for the top 2 scorers, German and Bradley for Northern Illinois. The 3 from McQuaid.
He's your glue guy. Doing a little bit of everything. Took a couple of charges early. Now buries the 3.
And a timeout taken by Northern Illinois. Everybody getting into the act for Michigan State. This time it's McQuaid off the low pass. No problem. 3 from deep.
Player of the year in the conference. Winston obviously has done a great job. My preseason pick in the Big Ten and in the country, Carson Edwards. There's just been too much for him to shoulder. Juwan Morgan getting a lot of help from Romeo Langford. Now the 2 names not on that list, Kevin, that could get onto that top 5. Jordan Murphy from Minnesota, double-double machine, and Tyler Cook of Iowa. And I'll give you a 3rd one.
All right.
James Palmer of Nebraska. Come on, Huskers. You think I forget about them?
As much as you hate Nebraska, I can't believe you put that in there. Levi Bradley
home
with the
state.
3. The first made 3 for Northern Illinois.
Are you going to let me in?
Nope. McQuaid with the 3 won't go, and German the rebound.
I will be in Lincoln January 17th.
We'll publish the hotel.
announced that.
We'll publish your hotel on the 16th.
For the Michigan State-Nebraska game, that'll be huge.
Ward, nice catch on the run, and Ward fouled. Boy, that was a tough ball to catch, and Nick Ward, in a game where his team leads by 23 with the catch, and barrels into the crowd. Look at this.
Look out.
got a good seat.
You know, getting back to that list for a second, I know I added 3 more there with Cook, Murphy, and James Palmer, so that's a total of 8. I think it's going to be very difficult to pick 5. You know, I mean, for the first team, all Big Ten, because all 8 in some form will be deserving. And I know I'm leaving out, you could argue, a Wesson from Ohio State. Take your pick. But at the same time, I think those 8 probably stand a little bit above, and I think it's going to be very difficult to get to 5.
Tillman with the offensive rebound. That's 10 boards now, or rather 9 boards for Tillman. Jumping the gun on his double-figure rebounding. 6 points, 9 rebounds for Tillman. Tillman driving to the rim. Will they count the bucket? No. Foul on the floor. That'll go on Levi Bradley.
Well, we talked about Tillman's impact off the bench, just forcing his way in. Foul before. And Langford, you know, look, he's been struggling.
Well, he's got some ankle soreness, we've been told, from the Michigan State bench. Likely not going to return in this game.
And maybe it's had an effect on his lift. 1 of 8, 1 for 6, and clearly there's no reason to play him at this juncture with this kind of lead, and they got the Big Ten starting up with Northwestern on Wednesday.
It'll be his first game not scoring in double figures this year if he doesn't come back and put some points on the board, and it doesn't sound like he's going to.
Are you okay with that?
I think it's probably the right play. If he's not feeling up to par, and you're up by 23, and you've got conference play looming, I think he'll probably give up that double figures in every game. Tillman with his second personal.
I mean, that streak is going to be hard to match, obviously, in the Big Ten as well.
Checking back in for Michigan State is 25, Kenny Goings.
Tom Izzo disappointed with that call. Offering some advice for our 3 officials, Bill Eck, Chris Beaver, Donnie Epley on the sidelines.
Be interested to see if we see a little bit more of Gabe Brown in the second half.
Nice rejection by Tillman again, and a foul. Boy, has Xavier Tillman played a strong inside game today.
His second personal, 5th team foul on the Huskies.
2 Spartans collapsing there with Tillman and Goins.
3rd block.
And look, they've got different bodies, but I think Tillman's yet another great example. We were talking to Tom this afternoon about what Bingham can become. And he was not this a year ago as a freshman. And usually your biggest improvement is between freshman and sophomore year in that summer. So look for big things from Bingham this summer.
And hesitation and a foul on the edge going on Aaron Henry. That'll be his second, 4th team foul on the Spartans.
Great crowd, by the way.
Yeah, very good crowd.
Maybe not as vocal as needed. His zone obviously not in attendance with students still on break, but a lot of the locals here. It's packed.
Deep 3 falls for Lacey James. Just his 3rd made 3 of the year. He's got 7. Second 3 today for Northern Illinois as Kyle Arntz comes up with the answer for Michigan State. Here's German into double figures with 10 points. German driving inside, not going to go. And the rebound scooped up by Tillman. Ashes Winston on the push. There's Tillman again on the bounce. Beautiful feed. Arns leaving for Goins. Excellent ball movement by the
Multiple
Spartans.
hockey assists right there. Great way to share the basketball.
All Michigan State, as you would expect. Jalen Key, free throw line jumper not going to go. We've got a foul battling for the rebound. But let's go back to the other end. This multiple assist play, a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
I mean, it looked like in this first instance, Arns was going to take it himself, but then dishes it off to Goins. And he thought about it, but he just didn't have the right angle.
Nicely done. Xavier Tillman with his 3rd foul a moment ago. Dowell inbound.
Normally, when you play your first game after break, there is some rust. Even though maybe you've only had a couple days, we're seeing 0 of that. It's as if they never left for Christmas.
That was what Tom Izzo said. He was very pleased with how they came back from the break. Seemed like they came back in shape, focused, ready to go. Winston on the drive, gets to the rim, scoops it in. 19 for Cassius Winston.
Everyone touches the basketball in the possession. The opening's there, and Winston finds the crease and gets in there for the reverse layup.
Nancy with the dribble. Step back three. He's got 13. That got some oohs and ahs from the crowd here in East Lansing.
Well, I think that's the first time that he's buried a shot with Winston really draped on him when he just had to create it on his own. It wasn't like he got a pass in motion.
1 for 6 now for 3 for German. Winston trying to dump it inside the Tillman. Kept it alive. Goins. The dish to Aaron Henry for 3. And German with the rebound.
All right, let's see if he goes for another heat check here. Look at, he's just head down. Looked like he was going right to the basket.
6th rebound a moment ago for German to go with his 13 points. James rejected inside by Goins. Stays with it. Fires wide of the bucket. And now 5 on 4 if the Spartans hurry. Henry trying to bounce it inside. Saved for Winston for 3. Cassius Winston. 6 from deep. He's got 22. The 5th time this year he's hit the 20-point mark.
I'm not saying this is going to be it for him, but he's going to maybe get a little curtain call here because I think Foster Lawyer's coming in.
22 for Winston. His high was 26 last time out against Oakland. But it's a season high in made threes, tying a career high. He hit 6 against Wisconsin. Here's Henry trying to step through, but he traveled. All right, Cassius Winston was challenged on defense. He's been up to that challenge. He's also shown defense isn't going to take away from his offense with a game-high 22.
I think Maryland has NCAA tournament talent, but they got a winning home game like that. Remember, they lost a very close game at Purdue. They just lost to Seton Hall at home. They have to beat Nebraska, who I say will be in the tournament and will win a game in the NCAA tournament this year for the first time ever.
You saw
take that back to Lincoln.
You saw that Langford on that graphic. I won't take that back to Lincoln, but he's out likely the rest of the day with some ankle soreness. But we should see him on Wednesday on BTN against Northwestern. Aaron Henry with the rebound off the miss. Foster Lawyer to push it up. Cassius Winston may be done for the day. Who knows? 22 points in this one for one of those 3 stars for the Spartans.
Let's see how the next 5 to 7 minutes goes, whether or not he's done.
And it's 4-3. Kenny Goins into double figures now with 12.
And here's one thing to watch. We talked about this before the game. Mark Montgomery, former Tom Izzo assistant, former Michigan State player, was so thankful that he got this guaranteed game. That means when you play here on the road, you don't get a return, you get a check. But I don't think Tom Izzo is going to run up in any way. And that may be one other reason why some starters are out, because let's just see how the reserves do it. If they make shots like that, so be it.
Foster Lawyer with the 3, his first points, 12th made 3 today for Michigan State.
You agree with me?
I do agree with you. Yeah, there is not gonna be any part of Tom Izzo that wants to embarrass one of his good friends in this coaching business. Longtime assistant. And he knows Mark Montgomery's job at Northern Illinois is a tough job, 8th year, trying to get this program going. Drive inside, Henry can't get that to fall. And it'll belong on this end with Michigan State. Coach Izzo, and we showed his coaching tree earlier, he's got a lot of love for the guys who've been on the bench with him. Mark Montgomery certainly one of those. Legend here at Michigan State, both as a player and an assistant coach.
And look, I'm not saying that Dane Fife, Mike Garland, Dwayne Stevens don't want to be another head coach ever again or anything like that. Mark Montgomery had told me, he said, look, I wanted to be a CEO, I wanted to be a head coach, but being Tom Izzo's assistant, while it can be demanding, is a great gig. You're working for one of the best in the business at obviously an elite college basketball program. And so there's something to be said sometimes when you are a top assistant for someone like Tom Izzo versus do you want to be a head coach at a lower level in Division I.
A 3-second call, the second one of the game against the Spartans, drew a bit of the ire of Tom Izzo.
You know, you're seeing it in college football right now. The coordinators are making so much money at some of those big-time schools. You know, would you rather do that or be the head coach you know, in the Sun Belt.
It just depends on what your aspirations are, I suppose, like anybody. Henry Hayes stays with it. And Rod Henry Hayes gets his first 2. That's a rare 2. He shoots most of his shots from three-point land. And Michigan State takes a timeout with 8:41 remaining in this second half. Speaking of football, Andy Katz leading us to our promotion for Monday, where BTN Live and the Big Show will deliver in-depth bowl coverage for the Spartans in the Red Box Bowl, including a complete review, interviews, and post-game analysis. Don't miss Big Ten bowl coverage on BTN Live and the Big Show Monday on BTN.
Yeah,
Speaking
my
of
middle name
football,
is Segue.
yeah, that's what you do. Speaking of football as well, they showed during the break the score of the Michigan game. They lost 41-15 to Florida in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, and safe to say here in the Breslin Center, that was met with much
Cheers.
more glee than it probably is being met with in Ann Arbor right now.
Yes, normally you would argue that in the bowl, in the NCAA tournament, you root for your conference
Yeah, that doesn't happen with rivals.
to win.
No.
If you're not playing them.
No.
Not the case between
No.
Michigan and Michigan State.
There were cheers. There was an overrated chant. It's a big celebration. Cassius Winston, so much for him being done. Back out on the
sorry.
floor.
He's back out there. They didn't like those couple possessions.
So Winston out to put a steady hand on the wheel.
But will he just now distribute rather than take some threes? Unless the shot clock winds down like it is right now.
Quaid dumping inside to Nick Ward. First field goal for Nick Ward. He's got 9. His previous 7 points had all come at the foul line.
And one of the things the Spartan coaching staff told me is that they needed to get Nick in a position to where he didn't have to work so hard to score, and that's a perfect example. He was just fed right where he needed to be.
And an offensive foul working down the floor. Nick Ward picks up his 4th, and that takes us to a timeout. 7:59 remaining in the second half. Tom Izzo not necessarily wishing these guys a Happy New Year. State Farm, here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Alongside Andy Katz, Kevin Kugler, and our entire BTN crew back here in East Lansing, Michigan. Michigan State up 70-42. And Tom Izzo continued the discussion with our officials throughout that timeout, defending Nick Ward's 4th foul. I think part of the reason he's upset is that he's watched Nick Ward, Andy, all game long get crushed by those double teams on the opposite end of the floor, and was wondering why the calls weren't quite as he's look at that. He's wondering where those fouls were before the one whistled on Ward.
Well, you can tell the way he was talking to Nick. I don't think he blames Nick Ward at all for being in this position. But once
Much team with a deep 3.
But once they get into the Big Ten, where there will be bigger bodies for Nick Ward, I mean, I think sometimes when there's such a size discrepancy, you know, you almost lean toward the bigger guy getting called a little bit more.
And a foul. Illegal screen set by Xavier Tillman, and Tom Izzo offering his advice once again.
His 4th personal, 7th team foul on the Spartans.
Always teaching, Coach Izzo.
Yes.
Whether it's his players or the officials. His players seem to hang a little bit more on his every word than do the officials. 4 on Tillman, 4 on Ward right now. Entry to Key. 10 to shoot as Key fades away and hits the 2. Winston may have to go back to the scoring realm a little bit. Good feed inside to Tillman. Rolls over the front of the rim. Xavier Tillman, 8 points, 12 rebounds.
And it's good, though, on the Northern Illinois side to see Key scoring because he was coming off shoulder surgery. And so for him to be producing like this for Northern Illinois, that's a good sign for them as they get ready to go into the MAC.
And for the Huskies, 10, Eugene German.
Michigan State with the basketball off the Northern Illinois turnover. 7 turnovers today, 11 for Michigan State. They've been better in the turnover department of late as well. First 7 games average almost 15 a game, 10 per game in the last 5. As Tillman turns it over as we speak of turnovers, 12th of the game for Michigan State. Dante Thorpe, the floater, rolls out, and the rebound again to Tillman. Ties a career high with his 13th rebound.
Of the 12 previous games Northern Illinois has played this season, only the Butler game was a game that was out of reach for them.
Another turnover whistled on Michigan State. McQuaid had a heel on the line and coughs it back up.
And back in the lineup for the Huskies is 42, Levi Bradley. He replaces Key.
You could hear Josh Langford clapping. He stayed very much engaged into this game despite not being able to play with an ankle.
Played early.
Going 1 for 8.
Really struggled early. And that ankle soreness, just too much to risk putting him back out there ahead of conference play. Game well in hand as it has been for most of the action here this afternoon. Rebound by Ward. Winston now navigates up. And Winston all the way to the rim. Nobody stopped him. He took it all the way up. He's got 24.
And he's definitely been hunting his shot more and more. And, you know, Tom wasn't feeling as comfortable with him on the bench.
And the 3 for Eugene German. He's got 16.
Sort of a late rotation there by Winston, and German had the opening, and he buries it.
Double team again at Ward. McQuaid, tough fadeaway. He rolls it over the front of the rim. He's got 5.
I always just feel like McQuaid's just really working for every bucket.
Tom Izzo said earlier in the year, he told us he's our best defender. He's the most solid guy we've got by far.
And that's why his absence in that Louisville game was a big deal.
They really missed him when he was out, as Northern Illinois will take a timeout with 4:57 to play in this one.
McQuaid just spinning right there, driving to the right side, and with the pull-up.
76-52. Spartans have this one well in hand. Now things ramp up considerably the next time Tom Izzo's crew is on the floor. He'll be right here on BTN Wednesday when Northwestern opens up or re-engages in conference play with the Spartans. Then a tough matchup at Ohio State, Purdue, and then a couple of road games at Penn State. And Andy, you'll be there on the FS1 broadcast for Michigan State at Nebraska on the 17th. And Tim Miles has had some success in his career against Tom Izzo. Both of those guys good friends with one another. Tom Izzo wrote the foreword to the book of Tim Miles a few years ago. And it'll be an interesting matchup at the end of that 5-game stretch to restart conference play.
And what Nebraska has to do is they've got to win their home games. They cannot get beat at home. And they're going to have to steal a couple on the road, and maybe it'll begin Wednesday night with you on the call in College Park.
Ward with the deep 2, and Nick Ward.
They've already got that road win at Clemson.
Road win at Clemson. They've got a win that's looking better and better that they had early in the year against Seton Hall. Pounded them very early in the season in the Gavin games.
Yes, Seton Hall playing much better, as Nebraska fans
reminded you.
Well, no, I reminded them.
Oh, okay. Bradley's 3 is strong, and then McQuaid bouncing off Bradley. Boyne's trying to dump it down to Ward, and Winston's going to settle this one down. 4:05 to go. Winston around the Ward screen. McQuaid with the 3. And McQuaid's got a 13 made threes today for Michigan State.
You know, one thing I just want to put a bow on, Michigan State's end of the season, I don't know if there's a tougher, without studying all of it, last 4 games were there at Michigan, at Indiana, then home Nebraska and home Michigan.
Oh, deep 3 from Eugene German. He's caught fire of late. He's got 19.
That's when the race is going to be decided.
Yeah, that's a tough stretch. 2 of your Final 4, the in-state rivalry. Timeout with 3:33 remaining in this one. Everybody getting into the act. Now Matt McQuaid in the second half, finding a little confidence from deep. When Eugene German hit his first, he's added a couple more after that, and he's ended up with a nice day at 19 points, 6 rebounds, but he's had to take 17 shots to get to those 19.
I don't think I've seen him smile once. I mean, he's just been fighting to get those openings. It's not been an easy afternoon for
Lawyer trying to turn the corner. Here's Ward. Shot clock at 9. Lawyer around the Ward screen. Back to the big man. 3 to shoot. Gonna have to hurry. But quick three from the corner for Brown. With the shot clock running out is no good, and German will push it up the floor. German, a little hesitation and a foul on Lawyer. Well, that was a veteran move by Eugene German against the freshman Foster Lawyer.
Because he had Lawyer sort of off balance and just leaned right into him and he threw the foul.
The freshman out of Clarkston High School, 4-time All-American, but that's not the first Clarkston Wolf connection. Dane Fife on that bench, former Clarkston Wolf.
And that is a nasty logo.
Yeah, that's it.
That thing's thirsty.
Intimidating. It's an angry wolf.
They eat you.
Of course, Dane Fife's dad, the head coach of both Dane and Foster Lawyer, he has retired. In fact, last year, when they closed out back-to-back state championships at Clarkston, Dad said, that's it, I'm going to retire. We were talking with Dane before the game, and we said, how's Dad enjoying retirement? He said, he's driving my mom nuts. Watching a lot of Westerns. He said she'll call me up. Can he come up and clean your closet? Can he do anything for you? Just anything to keep him busy. Dane Fife, just a terrific assistant coach, one of the really good guys in coaching.
I'm dating myself because I covered, his Indiana career. Unbelievable run. They got to the national championship game, losing to Maryland in 2002. Coach Mike Davis at the time. In a really untenable situation. I still say to this day, Mike Davis was put in the toughest position any coach has ever had to replace someone, where he had to replace Bob Knight.
Yeah, it's a no-win.
It was
no
a
win of no wins.
No-win situation. You had factions in the state of Indiana, and yet there was a lot of stress, and I've talked to Mike about it. There was a lot of stress on him, and people saw it on the court. You remember when they played Kentucky in Louisville?
That dart thrown up by Dante Thorpe is rebounded by Marcus Bingham. 5 freshmen on the floor right now for Michigan State. The young squad getting even younger right now with these freshmen out there, and one of the veterans huddled up with his mentor.
So I think we can call it now. We can project it that Cassius Winston will not return. You think that's safe?
I believe
all
now
precincts are in.
we could say
we are now calling it.
He will be done for the day. Rebound tipped out. Kithier able to save it for Michigan State. Now these freshmen getting some minutes.
These are important minutes, especially I think for Brown and Bingham and.
Nice
right
look
there.
inside. What a feed from Bingham to Kithier. Points number 8 and 9 on the year for Kithier. Driving to the rim, and Dante Thorpe has 6. Under 2 minutes to go in this one. Michigan State about to go to 11-2 with conference play restarting here on Wednesday. And a bump and a foul called on Austin Ritchie. Boy, this ball movement for the Spartans. We talked about how they share 24 assists on 28 field goals today. Look at this ball movement.
Well, this is tremendous, especially when it is from your reserves. They're all paying attention in practice, clearly. And then freshman Marcus Bingham with the great feed inside Kithier. And you saw the skill set there, obviously, from Bingham.
Talking about Clarkston, Thomas Kithier, Clarkston product.
And another freshman.
Not to mention the guru of graphics in our truck, Jordan Reese.
A Clarkston grad as well.
Who was...
But did not play. Did he
no,
play or did not play?
He did not play basketball.
Okay.
They asked him many times, and he had to start working on graphics. Yeah, your career path laid out in front of you. You can't walk. These guys played hoops. Jordan said, nope, I'm going to do graphics and become an expert in Photoshop. A 14
It's
to
too
McCarty.
bad we don't have like a tail of the tape of all three Clarkson grabs.
Yeah, there you go. Rebound pulled down by Bingham. Bingham to work the handoff and the pull-up from Gabe Brown. Mateen the rebound for Northern Illinois. Work by Lawyer. He got back to tip it off the hands of Gerges Dow. And Foster Lawyer, freshman out of Clarkson, two-time state champ, as we mentioned. And here comes the rest of the Michigan State bench. Jack Hoiberg on the floor. Brock Washington out there. Connor George out there. See the guys coming on, tucking their shirts in. Braden Burke also out there.
You mentioned Jack Hoiberg, father Fred Hoiberg, now a free agent after he was released by the Chicago Bulls, who, by the way, are coached on an interim basis by another Tom Izzo former assistant, Jim Boylan. But the Hoiberg sweepstakes this spring will be very interesting. I will be surprised if he is not coaching back in college basketball next fall.
If he's not, it's only because he doesn't want to, because he'll have opportunities.
Yes. So successful at Iowa State.
Here's Hoiberg. 16 Spartans have played in this game. Connor George, the pull-up, not going to go. Of the Spartans on the floor, only Brock Washington has not scored this season, Andy.
So Michigan State, Michigan, Wisconsin, I think that's your top three right now, and the Spartans are going into Big Ten play, the reset of Big Ten play, as well as they've gone in many, many years, and Tom Izzo has to be very pleased, not just offensively, we know that, but defensively, how they played in the last 3 weeks.
How good are this Michigan State games going to be at the end of the year? My goodness. Hoiberg with 20 to shoot. Connor George now. Here's Hoiberg, got an open three. And Hoiberg hits his first career three. As Hoiberg hits from deep. Number 14 for the Spartans as a team. The answer trying from Mateen, and the rebound out of bounds. It'll belong to Northern Illinois. One more look at the three from Hoiberg. Got a look, not afraid. And Hoiberg rains it down. He had scored 2 points before that bucket all season long. At the buzzer won't go for McCarty. And Michigan State caps a dominant performance today as Tom Izzo beats his former assistant Mark Montgomery in an 88-60 win for the Spartans. And non-conference play is over. The resumption of conference play coming next on Wednesday on BTN for Michigan